Hi, I'm attachment specialist Adam Lane Smith, and today I want to talk to you about how men discuss their hurt feelings. I'm going to decode man speak for you so that you will understand what is being said. I'm also going to talk to men about how they can share those hurt feelings without feeling like a wimp. Because that's a big deal. A lot of times when I tell men, hey, man, you got to be honest about your feelings, they picture me telling them to fall on the ground sobbing at somebody's feet and tell them all the little sad things that made them feel bad. No, not going to go there. So, women watching this, if you've ever wanted to know why and how men talk about hurt feelings, and men, if you're wanting to find a better way to do it, I'm going to show you how. Let's start with men. What's the purpose of male communication? So, our brains are meant for the hunter-gatherer period, 11,000 years ago, before agriculture, before the Neolithic Revolution. The vast majority of human history, it's in the million plus years, however long, it's been a long time. In the long stretch of human history, since the first Homo sapien came, almost all of our ancestors grew up in the hunter-gatherer period. Our settled agricultural and technological period is very tiny in the length of human history. So the majority of humans that have ever lived during the hunter-gatherer period. Our brains are meant for that. And we did not instantly adapt when the Neolithic Revolution hits. We are still slowly adapting. And now our technology is changing even faster. Even faster now. So our brains are still back then. So we have to look at the hunter-gatherer period. How did men evolve? Communication. How do we start communicating? Why do we communicate? And how do we communicate in a way that others understand? So male communication, very directive. You go over there. I'm going to go over there. I'll kill that guy with the big red hat. That is male communication. It finds a problem and solves the problem. The male brain tends to connect back to front. Observe, act, observe, act, observe, act. The female brain has a lot more connections between it, which helps find relational pieces and say, wait a minute, that connects over here, and that connects here, and that connects here. The male brain, observe, act, observe, act. So it says, you, go over there. I'll go over there, and we'll stab this mammoth together. Okay. And he observes, hears, and then acts. All right. Males communicate, typically, to solve a problem. If there is not a problem to be solved, men very rarely communicate. And that includes sharing of information, because sharing information is something to do. It's a problem. That person needs information. I can provide it. I have information to share with everyone. I could do that. Useful information. Men find it really frustrating when people just start blasting out useless information that doesn't pertain to the exact circumstance. If you've ever seen that episode of Futurama where the crab guy, Zoidberg, is trying to date a woman, and he's talking to Fry and saying, what do I do? And he says, ask her about her day. So he asks her about her day, and she starts saying, well, I woke up, then I had a piece of toast, and then I did this. And Zoidberg says, oh no, she won't shut up. That is the difference between male and female communication. Men focus and only communicate to solve a problem. And if they don't believe a problem can be solved, they won't communicate about it. And they will try to solve it on their own if they can. So, how do men express then their hurt feelings? If there is a way to resolve it, there's a problem, my feelings are hurt, how can I communicate that? If there is a way, if their brain says, here is a useful way we could resolve that, then they may go and have that conversation and say, hey, my feelings were hurt. We need to fix this. That might be how they do it. This is also why when women bring hurt feelings to men, men are like, all right, what are we going to do about it? And the woman says, wait a minute, let's stop and acknowledge that there were hurt feelings, and let's make sure we're on the same page. Let's make sure that the feelings are better. Let's reaffirm that we care about each other. He's like, no, we have to fix this. Who do we kill? That's why. Observe, act. Men solve problems with their communication and with their thoughts. Our brains are solution machines, and they kept us alive during the hunter-gatherer period because you had to be that way to fight, hunt, make tools, build a house, keep people alive. You had to. And here we are now in modern day, like therapy world, where it's like, well, you probably won't die. Probably. So how are you going to communicate now? Same old ways. So there's a piece in there that we mentioned that we should bring back up. If the man believes that there's a viable solution, that's a big piece. So if a man learns, for example, that nobody cares about his feelings, if his mom and dad don't raise him to care about feelings, if they don't raise him to feel like he is cared for, if they don't raise him to understand that he can solve his feelings issues within his tribe, within his family, his village, if he doesn't understand that other people have similar feelings, if he doesn't understand that feelings can be useful metrics for the health of a relationship, if he doesn't understand why we should share our feelings, especially with female bonding. Female bonding is very built on trust and connection and relations. Female bonding and female communication is built on drawing connections between things, nurturing, sharing of information that might or might not be useful down the line. It's built on intimacy. Very much. Women, that's why when women are mad at you, they give you the silent treatment. They are showing you, I am so mad at you that I will even stop talking to you, which means no intimacy, no bonding, no nothing. And men on the other side think, wow, she's finally quiet. This is great. And they don't understand that that's like the end of the relationship. If a woman is not speaking to you, it means a total absence of intimacy. She is so mad she cannot even process those feelings with you anymore. That's a huge disconnect, and most people don't realize that. All of that means that men must understand what feelings are, what purpose they serve, and why they are useful in finding a solution, and that there even is a solution. Men need to be taught that. If their mothers do not teach that to them, if their fathers do not teach that to them, then they need to learn it as adults or not. So men, when they don't have that, will very rarely communicate with each other. And remember that men also are concerned a lot about status in their group, status in their tribe. So the more risk there is that if they apologize, other people will beat them down. Hunter-gatherers, if you admit that you are weak, the tribe may just stab you, or they might just rob you, or they might kick you out because they don't want to deal with you because you're the weak link, or all the things. Think about a weak Viking. Who would have time for that? That's not even hunter-gatherer. That's further into the Neolithic, but what would they do? A weak Spartan, what would they do? Not good. So men have it programmed into us, don't appear weak. And we equate vulnerability and allowing and being able to be hurt with weakness. So we often do not go to our male friends and say, excuse me, but that really hurt my feelings. Because the other guy will say, really? That's pathetic. That's the fear. Sometimes it happens. That's why we often don't go to our wife and say, you know, what you did really hurt. Typically, we show our behavior and our hurt in passive-aggressive ways because we're angry. So we avoid that. We avoid the bad consequences of sharing our feelings, and we get gruff, and we get barky, and we don't share information when it would be useful. You say, well, and someone will bring up a problem, and we say, well, sorry to hear that. And we stop solving problems for the person. When men stop solving problems for a person or even stop offering advice, that is the equivalent of silent treatment. They'll still acknowledge and be polite usually, but when they stop solving and stop offering advice, total disconnect. That is the male version of silent treatment. Women often don't realize that. If he is offering you solutions and offering advice, he is fully invested in you enough that he is spending his time and his thoughts on you and sharing resources with you. In this case, solutions, data. He's sharing those pieces with you. Here's what worked for me. Women shut that down often and say, I don't want solutions. I just want you to hear me out, to build intimacy so that I know you care about me. He's like, no, we're going to fix it. On his end, she's rejecting his solutions and data. She doesn't want anything to do with him. He's perceiving the silent treatment even as she's talking to him a bunch. He's perceiving the male silent treatment from her. She is perceiving the female just shut up and get it done treatment from him. This is the origin of mansplaining, of men sharing information and data and solutions, and women say, stop talking, I don't want it. This is the origin of that mansplaining. And someone watching this right now is saying, great, Adam's mansplaining about mansplaining. That is the origin of it. If men are invested in you, they give you data and solutions. Here is what worked for me. Here's what you could do. That is the male speak of I love you. So when men talk about hurt feelings, sometimes they don't. The best thing to do is understand from men how are feelings useful. Well, if it's with a woman, sharing, this is how I have felt, even if it's whether she's done something or someone else has done something, this is how I am feeling. Here is the problem. Here is how the problem makes me feel. Here is what I would like to do about that problem. Problem, agitation, solution. It's like a sales page. Problem, agitation, how the problem is really making you feel and how it really even sucks more than you thought it did. Solution. And then talk to the other person. Here's the input. Where's your input? What insights can you give me here? What do you think? What do you think about this? Not should I do it, but what do you think about this? So if your wife has hurt your feelings, or women, if you think that you have hurt your husband's feelings, what this can look like in a male relationship from a male perspective, or when viewing a man, or what you can help him do, is he is barking, he's upset, he's growling, he's not giving solutions, or he comes to you and says, I'm really hurt right now, and I don't know what to do about it. You really like sucker punched my heart, kind of thing. Okay, what is the problem? Okay, how is that problem right now making you feel? And not like start crying, but what is that problem making you afraid of happening again? What fears is that problem stirring up? What kind of bitterness or fear of betrayal or sense of betrayal right now and fear of future betrayal? What problem is that? It's usually I'm afraid of now that blank will happen. That's usually where that comes up. Here's the problem. Now I'm afraid this could happen. And these are all the doubts in my head. Here's the solution. What can we do about it that would make that feeling, make you not... No. What can we do that would help you to know that those fears are not valid and will never happen? That's the solution piece. And then, now let's do data and input on that. All right, what can we do? Okay, well, here's like 3 different options. Well, this one seems like the best because of blah, blah, blah. That's how men can talk about hurt feelings. Here's what I'm feeling. Here's the problem. Here's what's making me afraid will happen next. Here's what I want to do about it. Let's work together on solving that and working on that and input and intuition, insight, everything on that before we implement it. And then let's implement it together. That right there, boom. Perfect relationship for men. Between men, if you have a problem, share it in that way. And at the beginning of the conversation, say, I just want to talk to you because I want our relationship to be strong. I want our shield wall to survive. So here's the problem between us. And here's my man voice. Here's the problem between us. And here's what it's making me feel afraid of. And here's what I want us to do about it. Here's what would help me resolve that. Can we do that together? Do you have insights on that? Is there something that's upsetting you that made you do this in the first place? And share. Start with, I want us to be strong. I want us to have this relationship. I want us to build this so the other person doesn't say, he's attacking me, the relationship's over, this is the breakup. Say, I want us to be strong and stay together and work together as a team and a tribe and blah, blah, blah. So in the interest of that, I need to be honest with you so we can solve this together. Preamble. And then problem. And then agitation. What are you afraid of will happen next? Why it's bothering you and why the doubts are in your mind. Solution. Insight and input. Invite. Insight and input. This is how healthy men resolve problems. This is all the leadership books boil down to this. All the good, strong, like squad leaders and stuff. This is how they'll handle it. This is how good business people handle it. This is healthy communication. Women, if you have a problem in your relationship and you have hurt feelings, this is the best way to convey that in a sense that will be understood. Because if you come to him and say, I need to talk about what happened, and then you start talking, I feel, he's waiting for solution. He's waiting for, what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? And his brain is already trying to observe, act. If you can tell him, now hold on, because I need to get all this out and I need to process it and I need you to just sit with me while we talk. And then when I'm ready for a solution, I'll ask. It clicks his brain into observe mode and holds it there and says, wait, don't act yet. And he'll be trying, but he'll be holding it back and he'll be observing. Then you say, okay, I'm ready to talk about solutions. Solution mode. That is a great way to do it. So women, if you have a problem with a guy, Go to him and say, I need you to just listen. I don't need a solution yet. When I'm ready to start talking solutions, I will let you know. But for now, just listen. I need to get all these feelings out, and then I need to know how you feel. Tell him up front what you expect, because that's how male communication works. Just remember, if a man is shutting down, not sharing data, turning away, kind of hunching, if he is not sharing that data, not giving you advice, not helping solve problems, not offering assistance, if he has shut you out of his basic hunter-gatherer male role, and he is no longer doing anything to help you, there are probably hurt feelings there. That's how men convey those hurt feelings when they have not great attachment or not great problem-solving skills. Use these. Use this. Everything I taught today. Use this to help him understand. Find the solution. I am feeling hurt, and that makes it so that I don't want to have sex with you. All of a sudden, the feelings become really important. I am feeling hurt, and not until I don't, I won't want to have sex with you. Not I won't have sex with you. That's hostage taking. But I won't want to. Tie it to a problem. Tie your feelings to a problem. Problem, agitation. How is that making you feel, and why is that a danger to the relationship? Here's the problem. Here's my feelings and why it's a problem and why we need to solve it. Here is what would help. Solution. Invite input. That's the male problem solution click through. That's how men discuss hurt feelings. That's how healthy men discuss hurt feelings. That is how our brains work. If you want to resolve problems with your male partner, with your brother, with your dad, with whoever it is. And men, if you're watching this and you've never understood how to exactly communicate about those issues either, this is the healthy way to do it. This is how you can turn hurt feelings, not into being a sobbing mess on the floor, but to get your hurt feelings resolved so that you can feel calm, your relationships can improve, and you can rebuild trust even where things have happened, even where brokenness has taken place. So, go out and do it. Thanks for watching. I'm Adam Lane Smith, attachment specialist. If you like this, please like, comment, subscribe. It would probably be a great idea for couples to watch this together, and then the wife says, is that really how you think? And the dude's like, yeah, you finally got it. Because I have taught this to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of couples, and women typically don't believe it. Because their brain doesn't work that way, and it sounds really limited, and it sounds not functional, and it sounds like someone who has brain damage. And men are like, yeah, no, this is how my brain works. Thanks for telling her that. I haven't been able to articulate that for years because observation, solution. Not, how can we talk about how I think? This is how it works. And this is the optimized communication in a relationship. So any woman who uses this right here, you will make his life so much easier. And you probably, if he's healthy and loving, if he's a good guy, he will jump in with this and he will say, you are great. You make my life so easy. It is so simple for me to solve problems with you. I am not afraid of talking to you. When you ask me to talk about things, I know the solution's coming. You make my life so good. This is how you stop making his life hard. And you start making his life very, very easy. And he'll brag about you to other men for how well you communicate. So if that's your goal, use this. Thank you.